Verbal agreements in North Carolina, are they legally binding? This question often arises in business and personal transactions. Let's explore the validity, proof, and enforcement of verbal contracts in the Tar Heel state. In North Carolina, a verbal agreement can indeed be legally binding if it meets the essential elements of a contract. These elements are an offer, acceptance, and consideration. One party makes an offer, the other accepts, and both parties exchange something of value. This could be money, goods, or services. However, not all verbal agreements are enforceable. North Carolina's statute of frauds requires certain types of contracts to be in writing. These include real estate transactions, agreements lasting more than 1 year, promises to pay someone else's debt, and sales of goods over $500. If your verbal agreement falls into one of these categories, it may not be legally binding. Proving the existence of a verbal agreement can be challenging. Without a written document, courts rely on other forms of evidence. This might include witness testimony, emails, or text messages referencing the agreement or actions that demonstrate the contract's existence. For example, if services were provided or partial payments were made, these could support the claim of a verbal agreement. If a verbal contract is breached, the wronged party may seek legal remedies. These can include monetary damages to compensate for financial losses, or, in rare cases, specific performance, where the court orders the breaching party to fulfill their obligations. However, pursuing these remedies can be complex without a written contract. Given these challenges, while verbal agreements can be binding in North Carolina, written contracts are always preferable. They provide clear documentation of the terms agreed upon, making them easier to enforce if a dispute arises. In conclusion, while verbal agreements can be legally binding in North Carolina, they come with significant risks and challenges. For important transactions, it's always best to get it in writing. If you're unsure about the validity of a verbal agreement, consulting with a legal professional can provide clarity and help protect your interests.